Thanks for tuning in to your daily dose of quick real estate updates, local housing trends, and market data, plus tips, tools, and strategies to help you buy, rent, or invest with confidence. You're now getting ready with RealiCare Reports, powered by the innovation team, Cami and Rex. Now go grab your favorite morning breakfast, coffee or tea, and let's enjoy today's episode.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. If you're a real estate professional here in Florida, you know it's not a matter of if, but when a storm hits.
And when it does, having a clear recovery plan is, well, it's everything. So today we're doing a deep dive into a crucial safety net, the Florida Realtors Disaster Relief Fund, the DRF, yeah.
We've gone through all the official source material to give you the most direct, actionable guide. Our whole mission here is to make sure you walk away, know exactly who qualifies, what paperwork you need, and what the fund actually covers.
And it's important to say this isn't old info. We're working from the official FAQs, updated as recently as October 11, 2024.
So this is the current playbook.
This is it. This is the official blueprint for getting assistance right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into it. The first big question is always, who is this for? Who's eligible?
Right. So the fund was really designed to support the core community. That means, first and foremost, active members of Florida Realtors.
Makes sense.
And then also the staff of Florida Realtors and the staff at all the local boards and associations across the state. So it's an internal support system. But, and I found this fascinating, there's a really important addition to that list.
Yes. This is the part that surprises a lot of people.
Tenants are also welcome to apply.
That's right. Tenants. They can't apply for, damage to the building itself, but they can apply for damage to their personal property, the contents of the unit they were renting.
That is a huge detail. I mean, most relief funds are laser focused on the property owner.
Absolutely. But this recognizes that a disaster impacts everyone, not just the person who holds the deed.
Okay, so once you know you're eligible, what's the next step?
The next step is choosing the right application form. And this is a rigid separation. You have to get this right.
Two different forms.
Two completely different application structures. You can find them at floridarealtors.org, DRF. One is strictly for damage to your residence.
Okay, your home.
Your home. The other is only for damage to your brokerage office.
And we have to stress this part. If you're a broker who lost your home and your office, that's two separate applications.
Two separate applications because the rules for the brokerage one are very constrained.
What are those constraints?
There are two big ones. First, only the broker of the office can apply for office damage, not an agent, not an office manager, just the broker.
Okay.
And second, and this is critical, the office cannot be in the same building as your home.
Oh, wow. So no home offices.
Essentially, yes. If you're a broker and you run your business out of a ground floor commercial space in the same condo building you live in, you would be disqualified from applying for the office damage.
Because the fund demands a clean physical separation between the business and the personal residence.
Exactly. It's to prevent overlap and keep the charitable purpose clear.
Okay, so let's talk about the paperwork. If the rules are that strict, I'm guessing the documentation needs to be spot on.
You have to approach this like you're building a case. It needs to be irrefutable to get through the process quickly.
And who are you building that case for? Who's reviewing it?
That would be the disaster relief trustees. These are other Florida Realtors members, your peers, who volunteer to review these applications. They're the decision makers.
And what do they need to see?
They need proof. It boils down to a mandatory document stack. 3 key things.
Okay, what's number 1?
Color photos. You have to submit clear photos showing the damage. That's non-negotiable.
Visual evidence. Got it.
Number 2, you need a copy of your insurance summary page.
Why that page specifically?
Because it shows your deductible and your coverage limits. The trustees need to see your existing financial exposure.
Okay. And number 3?
Number 3 is a written assessment or an estimate from your insurance company. They need the official numbers on what it'll cost to repair or replace everything.
Right, but what if you can't get that right away? I mean, after a hurricane, adjusters are swamped. It could take weeks.
And they know that. The fund has a built-in flexibility for exactly that situation.
So you don't have to wait. Do not wait. The instructions are clear. Submit your application now with a detailed written description of all the damage, and then send the official estimate later.
Exactly. You forward the insurance documents once you finally get them. The key is to get your application into the queue as soon as possible.
That makes a lot of sense.
And that leads us to, I think, the single most important piece of information in this entire deep dive.
Okay. Even though they ask for all this insurance paperwork, our sources are explicit. Insurance coverage is not required to be eligible for an award. Wait, say that again. That's a game changer.
It is. You do not need to have insurance to get help from the DRF.
Why is that so critical?
Because it means the fund is a true safety net, not just, a gap filler for your policy. Think about it. Some people have enormous deductibles, $10,000, $20,000.
Or they might be underinsured or just plain uninsured because of the cost.
Precisely. The fund's goal is immediate stabilization. It's a charitable mission. So it removes that huge barrier for people who might be the most financially vulnerable after a storm.
Okay, that context is key. So with that in mind, what kind of damage do the trustees typically approve for awards? Where does the money actually go?
They focus on making a home livable again. So they typically approve awards for major damage to the interior and exterior of the residence itself.
And personal property.
And personal property losses, yes, the core contents of that home.
So it's about structural integrity and essential belongings.
That's the core purpose.
Which means managing expectations is important. We should probably talk about what's not normally covered.
Yes, the list of exclusions is very specific, and it really clarifies the fund's priorities.
Okay, so let's run through them. First on the list is damage to external structures. We're talking outbuildings, like sheds or detached garages.
Right.
And this is a big one for Florida, no coverage for cars, boats, or RVs.
That seems to be the fund drawing a line between the residents and other assets, things that would have their own separate insurance policies. The focus is the roof over your head.
That's a good way to put it. That logic continues with things like pool and patio enclosures, pool pumps, that kind of equipment.
All excluded.
And then you get into more minor, but still frustrating damage. Things like blown shingles, fencing, broken driveways or sidewalks.
Not normally covered, no. Same with landscaping and debris removal.
And another one is perishable food losses.
Right. Why do you think they draw the line there at debris removal or lost food?
Well, based on the sources, it seems like a question of scope. Debris removal can be a massive expense, often handled by FEMA or local government aid. And food, while a real loss, isn't about the long-term habitability in the home.
Exactly. The fund is geared toward those big-ticket repairs that threaten whether you can even live in the house.
And there are two final major exclusions: office signage.
And loss of income.
And for an audience of working professionals, that loss of income part is vital to understand. This is a property repair fund, not an income replacement fund.
Correct. But we have to add the big caveat here.
The flexibility.
Yes. The sources are very clear that while this is a list of what's not normally covered, the trustees will still consider all applications on a case-by-case basis.
So if you have a unique situation, you should still apply and make your case.
Absolutely. Don't self-select out. Let the trustees make the final decision.
Okay, so you've applied, you've sent your photos, your descriptions. What happens next?
The process is designed to move fast. Once you submit, a Florida Realtors staff member sends your application directly to a DRF trustee who's been appointed to review your case.
So it cuts out a lot of bureaucracy.
It does. That trustee reviews your documentation against the fund's guidelines. And if it's approved, the accounting team at Florida Realtors gets a check out the door promptly.
And they've even thought about the logistics of that. I mean, if your house is damaged, you probably can't get mail there.
Such a smart, practical detail.
Yeah.
The application has a field where you can request the check be sent to a different address, a family member's house, a hotel, wherever you're staying.
That's just a small thing that makes a huge difference. It shows they're thinking about the reality of being displaced.
It really does.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. Let's synthesize the key takeaways from this deep dive.
Go for it. The DRF is a very targeted resource for the Florida Realtors community, focused on major physical damage. Eligibility is key. Members, staff, and crucially, tenants. And the application relies on thorough evidence. Photos are a must, but the biggest takeaway, the thing everyone should remember, is that you do not need insurance to qualify.
Right. And remember, the focus is on the residence itself. So external things like cars, boats, pools, and especially lost income are intentionally excluded.
Which brings us to our final thought for you to consider. The fund is explicitly about immediate physical property needs, getting you back on your feet physically.
But it specifically excludes loss of income.
Right. So, given that everyone applying is a working professional, how does this community spirit of addressing immediate physical needs? How does that complement or maybe even contrast with the long-term financial planning that professionals need to weather months of interrupted income after a disaster?
That's a really good question. That relationship between immediate charity and long-term financial security.
It's something worth exploring next.
Well, that wraps up today's episode of RealiCare Reports, where real estate meets real life. For more updates, tools, and insights that will help you buy, rent, or invest with confidence, be sure to follow, subscribe, stay connected, stay informed, and stay ready. Until next time.